Okay, welcome to the Body Development Podcast. I am with Darren Worrell today, and we're going to talk about his journey so far.
I've been a PT for 15 years. I've been in the industry. I kind of started off my journey really doing all this through going to uni, obviously.
Yeah.
So at uni I studied a degree in sport and exercise science.
Yeah.
I then, whenever I was doing the degree, found that I actually really liked the kind of sports science lab-based practices. So I went and done a wee bit of work experience as a lab technician.
Yeah.
What I didn't know whenever I done that was that it was going to lead to me being able to be in front of a lot of like elite level athletes. We done a lot of professional football, rugby, and it basically meant that I was able to do a lot of the physiological testing for them.
Yeah.
My aim was always to become a personal trainer from kind of the early age of like 13 whenever I got into kickboxing.
Yeah.
Which I'm a black belt in now. Only took me 20 years, but I eventually got there in the end. But that kind of basic principle of like the martial arts start was probably the reason where I kind of am today.
Yeah.
And definitely one of the reasons why I'm like working with you. But going back to kind of education side, so I'd done the sports science degree. Then after that, I was influenced a lot by one of the lecturers that was there, and he said, you know, you've got a cracking base with the sports science, but you've got an avenue now to kind of do strength and conditioning. So at that point then I decided to enroll in a postgrad for S&C, and from there I was able to be in the sports science lab even more and got more hands-on with the athletes that were coming in. So that was good. But what it did really make me realise is that I probably, you know, I felt like I had a lot more to offer than just working in a lab. And I did explore potentially going down that as a career path, but then I thought I need to go back to the idea that I had originally, which was to help general people. Because and you'll know this, Tom, but from an athlete's perspective, you know, you have an impact on their journey, but with general population you can have so much more of an impact, you know. And that whole idea of like changing people's lives was like something that I really wanted to do. And then whenever I finished my kind of postgrad, during the time of that I actually had the opportunity to work in my first kind of gym while I was still learning, and I worked in a strongman gym with a guy called Mohammed Yaqub Ali, who introduced me to his culture, how they operated, what they did before training to lead in to training, which was very different to what, you know, a lad from Derry growing up. We didn't experience a lot of that, but what was brilliant, and especially because I lived in Bolton, seeing all different cultures, experiencing all different people, and it just kind of set me up for, you know, my career leading forward really. So that was kind of my start. From there then I finished the postgrad, and then like you have to, well, the industry would suggest, I went then back and done a level 3 PT course with Premier Global, and sailed through that, which I'm proud of. But the idea then was, right, so I've got all these qualifications, this is all kind of in place, I need to really crack on and start making a living out of this. We had the opportunity, my wife, you know Harriet, she got an opportunity to work in the first gym that I properly worked in, Outclass. And then from there, there was a PT opening that came up. I went through I think it was a 4-stage interview for it. But which was really good because there was a bit of rigor in it. It wasn't just, oh, come in and you've kind of got a job. You know, you had to kind of earn your place for it, which I really, really liked. And I had a very successful career there for 9 years. And then I decided to kind of go on my own. So, and if I'm being truthfully honest with you, that was massively down to coming here. Like it was unbelievable.
So I mean, you worked for Neil at Outclass. And Neil had come here previously, which is how you knew about us. And you've opened up your own centre.
Yeah.
With your wife, Cartshed Fitness.
Cartshed Fitness. That's
And it's similar in many ways to what we do here.
Yeah.
And you've also got your boot camps.
Yeah. So we basically offer boot camps. We offer my small group training program, personal training, joint PT, boxing, fitness, and I also teach my kickboxing club out of there as well. So it's it's action packed.
And Harriet is a therapist, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got that.
We've got a lovely balance with that, because it means, that if anyone does need any rehabilitation work as well, we've got that, that interconnection, which is great.
Okay. So in terms of your own, so that's kind of a lot about you and your professional side.
Yeah.
Now, your personal transformation has been quite dramatic.
I bet, yeah.
So the person that we first see in the pictures, who is that person compared to the person that's sat in front of me now?
Well, it's quite interesting you say that, really, because my first experience of coming down here was in 2020.
Yeah.
And it was just at the point when the world kind of let us do something. So I was on a punch out course with you.
Yeah.
And it was actually Neil at the time actually said to me, he said, you'll really like Tom, you'll get on with him, he's got the same kind of ethos that you have with martial arts and that, which I resonate obviously massive with. And I just thought, right, I'll give this a go and see what I think. Came down, absolutely loved every second of it, and I just thought, whenever we came away from that course, I was like, it's such a shame that you weren't at the time running the mentorship anymore.
Yeah.
And then what happened was in 2022, obviously you put out a post, I think it was in November, about that you were going to start it again in January, and I think I was hopefully one of the first people. I'm in. I really, really fancy that. I think it'd be great. And at the time I was at a bit of a loss, because I worked the dates out the other day, and it was, we came down here on the 17th of October for that punch-out course, and then we had a bit of a family tragedy exactly 10 days later, which kind of shaped then my next few years of how I was. As you said, like the transformation that I went through with yourselves, it all led from the fact that, like a lot of my clients and, general people out there, I eat my emotions. That's me as a person. I've been a make-the-weight athlete since I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like feast or famine, that kind of principle that I kind of adopted. And then whenever times are tough, you go to the easy out, which is the food. And definitely for me, that was a massive coping mechanism, really. But what basically happened in 2022, whenever I decided to make that plunge, which I think was nuts at looking back on it now, because I came into this experience and I always reflect on it, and I think I wasn't in the right state of mind, really, because to come into this environment with one of the top guys in the world, in my opinion, to then be morbidly obese and actually kind of go, all right, I'm a PT and I'm going to crack on. And at the time I wasn't massively physically capable of a lot of the movements. I think I could do 3 pull-ups at that time, and at my best coming here I can do like 27. So at a gym standard, so I talk about this all the time at my gym, 1 second up, 3 seconds down. That's what we're set as a gym standard from coming here. And because I could only do 3 at the time, it was really demoralizing, because in the past, because of the level of athleticism that I performed at, I was like, that's not good enough. But what was the real catalyst for me was on the first day of the mentorship, we were sat downstairs, and I think it was Joe that done the initial consultation of how you run through an assessment with a client on nutrition and lifestyle before you engage and work with them. I remember thinking, sitting there trying to sink into the chair, like, I hope Tom doesn't ask me any of these questions. Like, absolutely not. But then what happened is I went I went back to the hotel that night, and I realised why I was actually here. And the reason why I was here was because I needed something to like direct me, focus me, and get me back on track. So I remember very vividly approaching you in the morning and saying, Tom, I really want to do that initial consultation. And I remember you saying to me, do you want to do it in front of the group, or do you want to do it on your own? And I said, I want to do it on my own, but that's the reason why I have to actually do it in front of the group. And then you were like, game on. So we got in front, And then it was just laid bare. It was like, you know, at the end of the day, you asked the group, which I absolutely sank whenever you asked the group, they said, is Darren healthy? And no one, deathly silence in that moment. And I went, yeah, well, obviously I'm not, but, you know, it was nice of them not to, like, pound on me straight away. And then you got the page, you fucked it on the floor, and you said, this is the problem with this industry. No one tells the truth. Yeah. And it was at that moment that I was like, yeah, fuck it. Truth's the only way out of this. Do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of myself, I was at a point where I needed to go, right, if I don't make a change now, what's my life going to look like in a few years? And it's really funny because people, because of my journey coming here, people always ask me all the time. They're like, oh, are you still going to, like, lose weight and things? And I'm like, honestly, what I come to body development for is nothing actually to do with that. It's actually to learn from you and to make my business better, you know, all the time, so I get more results from my clients and X, Y, and Z. But it's just so coincidental that it's been able to help me change my life as well. You know?
But you've got a good team around you, so it's not just me. So you've got
the peer group as well of all the lads. You know, it's amazing. And I think because we've all been coming back year on year, you know, there's a real camaraderie with the group as well.
Yeah, there is,
and we take a piss out of each other, which, you know, where I'm from, if you're not taking the piss out of someone, you don't really like them. Do you know what I mean? It's all in, you know, with that. So, yeah, it's great. It's really, really good.
Okay. So, hell of a journey. You dropped over 30 kilos.
Yeah.
You completely transformed yourself, as the pictures clearly show. And then you've opened your business.
Yeah.
I guess because your confidence grew in yourself
massive.
Hugely.
Unbelievable. I realised as well that, like, over the years, everything that I've been learning, you know, because, you know, I've had a lot of education, and I think, you know, from the martial arts side, from me working at Outclass, from me working with you, you know, one of the things I really, really like is the fact that you constantly talk about the idea that, you know, you aren't in your position today because of just you. You're in your position because of all the coaches that you've had in the past. So for me, I think it's very important to recognize that as well, that it's, you know, I'm not in the position that I'm in today because I'm just a great coach. It's because I'm willing to constantly go, I don't know what I don't know. And I'm going to surround myself with people that are going to help me get to that position. Now, I'd like to think I'm a pretty good coach, but I've only got better and better as the years have gone on, and definitely with coming here.
What's it like as a coach to come into this gym and have my clients coach you?
So, so one of the big things I really liked as I've seen historic photos of a lot of you guys doing calisthenics, and I thought, right, this is going to be great because this is something that I'm really interested in what I coach my clients now. And I thought, right, first time we're going to learn this is going to be from Tom. So you broke us up into 5 groups on day 1, because obviously my only experience before that was punch out. And I was thinking, oh, so Tom led that punch out course, so that's how it's going to go. And you said, right, BD, over to you. And it was literally your clients who, I think you said at the time, were like accountants and guys in IT and things like that they weren't qualified PTs, but they were showing us what to do. And at that moment, and I think how I've shaped kind of Caretshed as well, is that standards are important. So therefore, you're trying constantly to try and level up my clients' knowledge. So that therefore, whenever people see them, they go, they train me, Darren. You know, that's something coming here that I'm massively proud of, is that that's what I want to be doing all the time. I don't want to kind of be half-assing a session and then people not getting anything from it. I want people to think this is the go-to guy. You know, fat loss is one of my absolute specialties, you know, because you know, it's my bread and butter now. But, you know, in terms of the calisthenics training, in terms of boxing training in general, kickboxing, in terms of even general weight training, you know, your major thing that you always go on about is the application of tension. And it's the missing art and everything, isn't it? You see people all the time training and they're just moving weights.
They're not
but
training.
They're training or training. And I want my guys over this side of that equation, you know.
And it all takes time and it takes understanding. But
setting the standards is definitely a big one for that for me.
So, Final point in a nutshell, because
it's
I
hard
know
with
you
me.
like to
I like to ramble, Tom. You need to hold me back, you know.
To another personal trainer,
Yeah.
what would be your advice to them?
Like if they were starting out, or
Whatever. I mean, how many years in were you when you came here?
I must have been already 5 or 6, probably.
Okay.
Already like in the coaching people. So yeah, I would actually say, like there has been some people in the course that aren't like fully ingrained full-time coaches. The sooner that you can get yourself around this type of group,
Yeah.
the better, because you're actually going to just catapult your experience of trying to develop, you know, because that's something I think is a major point. Is, do you know, if you do any of this stuff in isolation, you don't get anywhere.
No.
Whereas this, even starting Cart Shed, you know, it wasn't just you. It was people like Nathan, you know, Shane,
all
people like
in,
they were all just saying, Darren, have you considered this? Have you done that? And you know, that exponential learning through just being here has been really, really beneficial to me. You know. Yeah.
Brilliant. So there we go. That's Darren Worrell in a nutshell. Okay.